In today's episode, we delve into the creative economic sector. We meet Tumi Masemola, co-owner and co-founder of Black Brain Pictures at their offices in Bryanston. She shares with us their secrets of staying relevant in the television industry for over a decade. Later, we drive to Maboneng Precinct to meet two entrepreneurs, Hayleigh and Orly Shapiro, owners of POPArt. We learn about the theatre business and what it takes to put together a production on stage. There is a huge demand for locally produced content on both the local screen and theatrical performances.
What I think of the creative industry,
it gives a different perspective to a culture.
The creative industry is growing.
South Africa's creative economy has contributed to 90.5 billion rands directly to the country's GDP between 2011 and 2014's fiscal year.
At the moment, I believe that the creative industry it's quite a hard industry to get into.
it's a very competitive industry as everyone wants to do the exact same thing.
In this episode, we focus on three phenomenal entrepreneurs, Tumi Masemola of Black Brain Pictures and Hayleigh and Orly Shapiro of POPArt Theatre, who are changing the face of entertainment in the country. Local as lekker. Ilona ke hubel kulwa laphayana e-public broadcaster. Namhlanje we shine the spotlight go wesimama osebenza ngokukhulu ukuzimisela to make sure ukuthi ke sithola i-content eseqophelweni eliphezulu komabona kude wethu. Uyabona ke i-Black Brain Pictures bona ke benza sure ukuthi izwe lonke lihlezi futhi lijabulile futhi sihleka uma ngabe kuza kwezamahlaya alapha ekhaya. uTumi Masemola omunye ke babaphathi bayo le nkampani futhi ke oyi-co-founder uxoxisana nathi ku-making moves ukuthi imuphi komsebenzi omkhulu futhi nomsebenzi omuhle abawenzayo laphayana enkampanini yakhe.
Tumi Masemola, otherwise known as Tumi from the gang.
You are my sun, my reason to wake in the morning, the reason I smile all day. You are my mind.
In today's episode, let me find out more about my company, which is Black Brain Pictures. We're a television company producing TV shows such as Sithi Sesla, Sesitopla, Samsokolo, Awamzala, Thandeka's Diary, and so many more.
I'm in the hustle and bustle of the CBD. Namhlanje ke sobe sigxile kakhulu ekubhekeni abantu besimama abenza izinto zenzeke emabhizinisini abo. I-making moves namhlanje sobe sibheke wona ke lomkhakha lona we-film, media and broadcasting. Ilapho khona ke ngizobe ngixoxisana nowesimama yena onenkampani yakhe eyenza izinto zenzeke. Ngikhuluma nawe balapha ngemuva kwamanye lamabhilidi lawa lana bashutha i-sitcom yabo kodwa banamahhovisi eBryanston. Ake ngixoxisana nabo ngizwe ukuthi ke yini eyenza ukuthi ke bona bahluke kunamanye ama-production houses akhona la ngaphandle. Good morning.
Hi, see you okay?
Good day, guys.
Good, thank you. Good to see you.
Good seeing you, Aussie.
Yes.
I know that you're one of the founding members, Hayleigh Black Brain in 2005.
Yes.
You were very young at that age, early 20s. What made you guys decide to sifuna ukungena kule nkundla le?
When you're in your early 20s, you've got that glow of a graduator, you're the business,
Chesa.
you know everything. So, very that arrogance, I guess, and the confidence in. So, really enter the job market. Rabana actually, come together, come a production company.
Sithi Sesla.
Yes.
Now Pala. Took it to your broadcaster.
Yes.
I can imagine you guys walking in. Itilaba, we're gonna do this thing, and then the broadcaster says, "Cha."
Cha. That was the first answer that we got. By ratile concept yo.
Yes.
By ratile by amogela re fitla mole ba bona bananyana ba banyane. Ba butshwa re jwale ke matlo actor no ke rena, ke matlo producer ke rena, ke matlo ngwala ke rena, ke matlo director ke rena. Ba re no guys. Ga le so ka le handle tender in your life before. Number 2, ga le so ana le experience ya go produce a TV show and you expect us to reach the million check am ka re lefe for this to happen. Sorry no. So out of that, we're going to show them how we can do this.
Yes.
So let's put our money together, let's put our resources together, and then shoot the first episode of City Sesla. Rabuela to the SABC, okay, you guys got what it takes. But then Barafa a mentor in order to accomplish our goals.
He's a real life superhero. Oh, no, not I.
Hold up! Wait!
Christina Aguilera.
We are geniuses.
Stop! Tell my time!
Iroli yakho yini?
Orly, I'm at Black Brain Pictures. Mostly, I'm the executive producer. So that means I'm involved in creating the concept with the guys. So, we plot out the story, the characters, what are they going to be like, and all of that. And then from there, we sell it on. So, this is the concept. If they buy it, then we put the team together that's going to execute it. And then from there, the team, takes it on, and then my role then is just to manage the staff, manage the process, make sure we produce the show on time and on budget.
Oh, nice.
It moves!
So, ena ke nngwe ya di-sets tja rena, Thandega's Diary. So, ke ka mo kitchen ya rona, as you saw the cruise on lunch, gone jwale.
Yes.
So, I can take you through.
Aha, tisibone kushuthi wabona asel shapabo action. Kwenzekala.
Yeah.
Then I feel like
Do you want more? Oh, please.
So, as to me,
Yebo.
as you said earlier on Haribo ofisini yawo, hore SABC Hayleigh manaba your first production.
Yebo.
City Sesla. They linked you up nenye company imentor yenu. Iziphi izinto that you had to learn ngaphambi kokuthi nizimele nina?
Sure. Production management, ko re go na le mmereko montši in understanding the contract when go contractor your employees, because rona ga re berekele permanent staff, re bereka le di freelancers.
Yes.
So as a result, it's a different kind of contract. Le ka mokgwa the VAT and SARS and all of that management things, how they work. Gobane rena re tswa sekolong and re understand our creativity.
Yes.
Re understand gore re age di sets, re ngwale di script, re create the characters, and to make the story flow.
This is what you deal with all the time, rabbit on set. I think working with Tumi, it's always been an easy journey for me because when we started, we studied together. So obviously from Esquela, we were doing plays, we were doing films together and all of that, so it was easy to kind of develop a working relationship because we started working. And then obviously when the other side came, the romance and all of that, we had already built a pattern of how we work and things like that. So the romance became a little bit easier.
Punctuality, and I got fired after 7 days.
Tumi Masemola, yena ke osomabhizinisi ozalelwe lapha eSoweto. Takes us back kuleso sikhathi ke lapho khona aqala kuba nephupho lokuthi ke yena ufuna ukuzisungulela eyakhe ke imedia business. Sichitha usuku nabantu abamazi kabanzi, abangani bakhe futhi namalungu omndeni wakhe ukuze basitshele kabanzi ke ngayo lentokazi lena ke ene charismatic personality.
Yo, I'm at odd jobs. I auditioned for African Footprint and I got that and I thought, hey, I've arrived. I was fresh out of college and I had that ukila bona ha tsa sekolong unana rutsi binki ne ke le motho wa punctuality hore ke fitla ka nako and ke tsamaya ka nako whether we are done or not. If I was here at 11 and people arrive at 12:30, at 1 o'clock it's time to go nyashaisa. The producers had a difficult time dealing with me. When they'd ask us to do promos, I would probe and be like, why is a promotion? Why lona le patala rona re sa patalwe? Why, you know what I mean? And I would do the maths. The ticket sales are 250 to come see African Footprint, and we have 2 shows a day. Why is our salary like this? You know, so I think they were like, yo, Lorna. I got fired after 7 days.
To me, o goletse bophelo ba gae mo Gauteng. Ne re dula ko Diepkloof Extension, number 630 Diepkloof Extension, mo Soweto.
I was born in Baragwanath, and then I lived for a couple of years in Soweto, and then I lived for another couple of years go POPArt with my granny, and then back to Diepkloof, and then we moved to Ridgeway. It was good. I mean, in a nutshell, some of it made me a bit of a loner because ubali attachment issues. Everybody you get attached to, then you have to move, then you leave them, and you always have to get a new friend.
I had 7 months. 2 minutes at
What stands out about my childhood? I would say Nerula Khofile Ntlia Chico, go play the tennis court, and then Ravona like a red beamer pulling up, and then it was like my brr. Yo, I remember we waited there the whole day until Lizatiliwela. And when she came out, by the time she came out, we had gathered all of our friends and our sisters and everybody, standing outside by her car. And we were like, yo, you know? And she got on top of her car and she sang, me do do, do la do ti. And it was just like magic. And she was my hero since then.
Some days my cup overflows. Dark influential and draw the line, but only I can define my ambition if the world's eyes.
Me and her, we do like music and record all of our albums together. So I mean, she's just released Tumi and the Gang, which she broke from the gang now.
I've always wanted to be a singer. I think that's the one thing that I remember myself by, and that's the one thing that I hey, okay, Tumi offing, oh binang, okay, you know, it's always been my thing and my vocation.
She loves to get the attention.
She had a lot of the award study music scenes and say alien. But one day it will be a career for her.
I was in the South African Youth Choir. Then I was like, this is my thing, you know. So when I got to matric and AFDA had just been established and the principal was like, yeah,
to tell the honest truth, but why the next aduleli? Linda Maraka feels like you do like that. At some that career and I right down.
I'm just me.
For nearly a decade, Black Brain Pictures bakwazile ukuthi benze show ukuthi ababukeli abaningi bahlezi bebeke amehlo abo ku SABC 1 uma kuza kwezamahlaya lapha ekhaya. Namhlanje uTumi Masemola usestudio ukuzoxoxisana nathi ngokusitshela ukuthi ke imaphi ke wona kama recipe wabo abenze ukuthi ke babe yindumezulu enkulu kona ke lomkhakha bakona njengoba exoxisana noPepsi.
So from Pepsi this morning, I guess I'm expecting great ideas, you know, especially because we're in the same industry and, you know, we more or less do the same thing. So he'll be coming from a very knowledgeable place. So, yeah.
Fresh from film school, Tumi and her partners went to the SABC to pitch their very first sitcom. The broadcaster loved the concept but never awarded them a contract, citing a lack of television producing experience. And now, 10 years later, Black Brain Pictures is a formidable company known for their exceptionally witty and very popular sitcoms. Please welcome Miss Tumi. Hi, babe.
Hello. Okay.
I'll stand up and give you a hug, but my mic is all connected and stuff.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
I understand.
And I know your husband. He's not, he's not a small guy.
He won't appreciate it.
No, he won't.
No,
and I heard he's a jealous guy as well.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. You mustn't believe everything you hear in the streets.
Yeah. Okay, so 2 peers, same industry.
Yes, sir.
I'm hoping you're going to give me some insight.
You too.
And share some of your secrets. It's been over 10 years years now.
It has.
In the industry, over 10 years of the business. So what's been the secret to the longevity?
I would say making sure that we're always open to learning and keeping our eye on the streets and our ears on the streets, on the ground, making sure that we remain relevant, because at the end of the day, our customers, which are the audiences, are the ones that determine what's hot on TV. And in order to create what's hot, we need to keep in touch with them. So I would say that is the number one secret.
So what makes the money now? Is it TV production? Is it entertainment, performances, album sales, or is it corporate theatre?
I would say it's TV production still, because even though we are still servicing the corporate industry, we're servicing them in corporate videos and training videos and commercials and promos, which in a nutshell still is television production. So
what makes the most money right now? Is it TV, as in the public broadcaster, traditional TV, or is it the corporate side of the business?
It's the corporate side of the business.
Okay.
Because as you know, with the broadcaster, you cannot plan your turnover as a company, because we're constantly in a situation where we're competing with people such as yourself to pitch for business. So, you know, you don't have a longevity, so to speak. So with the corporate business, you are able to achieve that.
Okay. Do you think you compete with me?
Yes.
Really? Really?
What do you mean?
Okay, fine. Some of your own personal goals moving forward, because you want to build a sustainable business, you want Black Brain to live a lot longer than, you know, just 10 years. How are you guys putting things into place to make sure that that happens, and what's the plan?
The plan is really just to have a development fund, because you can't always be relying on the broadcaster or the corporate company to be giving you jobs. We have to be able to create our own IP and be able to develop our own shows. So we've seen with companies such as Netflix overseas that have created Orange is the New Black, and they created that internet phenomenon series that then was picked up by all the other broadcasters and networks. So to create that kind of thing so that we're able to have an equitable conversation with our broadcasters where, you know, some of the IP is ours, because right now we sit with 10 years of business and a great CV. However, none of the products are actually ours. We can't actually take them and trade with other production companies from outside our territory.
So do you think us as Black producers, do you think we don't collaborate enough? So how Sheba Yona, let's say Orange is the New Black, production companies, there'll be like 7, 8 executive producers, there'll be 4 or 5 different production companies that come up in the credits. When you watch City Say Slides, just Black Brain on their own. So what are we not doing? Should we be collaborating a lot more and developing product and co-investing, or, you know, are we okay running in our own silos?
I think for the South African market, we have been forced to run in our own silos because the market is so small. Our audiences are smaller in comparison to the other African countries and Americans. And therefore, because the pie has been so small, we've been unable to collaborate as much as we'd like to. But looking at the global market, the only way that I believe we're going to be able to break into the global market is for us really to collaborate and be able to develop these concepts together, because that way we'll learn from each other, we'll be able to produce world-class stuff. And I'm sure you've got funders that you know that I don't, and vice versa. And I believe that's the future of the industry for the global market.
Fantastic, thank you.
Thank you.
Learned a lot.
Really?
Udumedi Samantha, no really, I have.
Oh.
Tumi has shared some of her secrets for being relevant in the TV industry for over a decade, and we explored what the next logical step is in her business. I'm going to send her off now, and she's going to have a discussion with another heavyweight in the television industry, Mr. Thokozani Nkosi, and they're going to share some ideas on how we can all take our businesses to the next level.
Okay, so I've just done the interview at Pepsi. It was fabulous, especially the ideas that were great. He made me think a lot, but
How aware are you of co-production treaties that the country has with different countries?
Wow, good one.
we're talking now about how we should own IP, and one of the broadcasters did give that almost window to say, outside where we play, you can play for 2 years with the content you make for
Yes.
us. Have you found that works? Seeing that we're saying that that's possibly the answer to
yeah.
issue.
Wow. Good one. Okay, Togozani. He's actually very knowledgeable. You know, he's been a colleague in the industry for a long time, Johannesburg. To be honest with you, I'm going to say that I don't know. I don't know if that works or not, because we as a company have not gone
and exploited
that,
right.
Because our specialities are so different that when you are having to manage 10 productions at the same time, and I'm on the management side of executive producing, of making sure that all of these shows are performing well as pushing my music career, and having Mandla who's inside the productions and working on that, and then TT then growing the property and the marketing of that. We haven't
had... So there's
a
missing pillar.
Exactly, of a salesperson who's looking at opportunities of how to exploit what we have in the business outside what the broadcaster is necessarily looking for.
When they start partnering with people outside the ambit of Black Brain, they'll be able to also then easily do it. Instead of having a me attitude, they already have an us attitude, so it'll be easier for them to expand in that way.
Because collaborator, you will learn from each other. And the product also will be stronger. It'll be bigger and better.
What I can help you with outside this chat is I can give you names of distributors that become that pillar to different production companies.
Oh, fantastic.
And what they do is they take the content that you can, even if content is not owned by you, if you help in the selling of it, you get some kind of a commission.
Oh, great.
So we can have a chat about linking up with distributors that would help to take that content and exploit it even more.
At the moment in time, the income streams are limited to, you know, the promo and the commercial work, the TV productions and the music. So by collaborating with him on these contacts, then that means we can have now an income stream, sales, you know, outside of the TV. So that will be fabulous.
It's no use owning IP if it's just going to sit and do nothing. So the key now is to prepare themselves so that, you know, they'll be ready, so that when they do get to own IP, they'll be able to immediately exploit it as best they can. How aware are you of co-production treaties that the country has with different countries?
We are aware, but they mostly cover animation and movies.
Yes.
So because we want to delve into television series, we've had roundtables with like the NEF and the DTI and those people who are like, yeah, let's see where we can accommodate you from a legal stance. And I suppose it's a persistence that's required from our side to get those treaties drafted, or to get our co-production contracts through the system, so that we're able to acquire the necessary funds to be able to do those co-productions.
And you are aware of the Emerging Black Filmmakers Fund at the DTI, which covers up to 50% of your production budget?
Yes.
And with the co-production with an international guy covering that other 50%, then you will have spent 0% on the budget.
Yes, we'll have to sit down and you can chat to me some more about that. But it's also it's that pillar of that salesperson who just deals with and specializes in that I think you've pointed out that we definitely very much need. We found a gap in terms of Black Brain Pictures, in terms of our expansion plan. So no, he was perfect.
Meow, meow, it's sad. Where's my milk? Nothing captures an audience like a live performance. Lapho khona kaMalaithu mesecishwa emidlalweni wase stage. Ababukeli bayahlala bazinze balungiselele umlungisi ukuthi yena ke akathathe isikhundla sakhe kuona lo mdlalo lo. Uyabona uxoxa izinganekwane Indlela ke lena besibuye sazi ukuthi ke thina singobani, sazi futhi kabanzi nangemvelaphi yethu. Osomabhizinisi bethu ababili esibaphethe kuyona ke lenkundla lena, uHayleigh noOrly. Bona ke bazakhele indumezulu enkulu kakhulu kona lo mkhakha lo. Namhlanje baxoxisana nathi ngohambo lwabo lwezamabhizinisi futhi nokuthi ibhizinisi labo balisungule kanjani.
Hi, I'm Orly.
And I'm Hayleigh.
And we own the POPArt Theatre in the Maboning precinct.
And POPArt stands for People of Performing Arts. We are a theatre space, but also a production company with the mission of taking South African performing artists and performing arts products onto a global level where they deserve to be.
Emaboneng idume kakhulu ke ngalabo abantu laba abathanda ukukhangisa ngetalente labo noma ke ngemfashini yabo lapha ke eGoli. Namhlanje ngizohlangana nabo osomama abesibili abawosomabhizinisi. Bona ke bathi banikeza ke osomabhizinisi abasafufusa a platform yokuthi bangashowcase ngetalente labo. You can see abantu bakhona ngalana ke emuva. Baya prepare ukubona ukuthi kuzobe kwenzakalani ke la tonight. Njengenjwayelo ngizoxoxisana ke nabo ke labo osomabhizinisi bethu ngebusiness labo and find out a bit more ukuthi ke bona benzani. I know that you guys studied in the performance arts, field. Went to after, graduated. So you guys decided, let's start our own business. Tell me a bit about that journey.
Actors spend a lot of time having cappuccinos and doing a shit about the fact that nothing's happening, nothing's working for them.
Yes.
So we're just not that kind of people. No. So we just went, okay, so what are we going to do about it? And the initial idea was to start a performing arts center where we could kind of be in training, because what happens when you're not working is like the muscles get loose. So that was the initial idea, and then it just became something that people wanted more. People wanted more of an opportunity to actually perform as opposed to train, and because you're also training when you're performing.
Yes.
So we decided to make a theatre.
What made you guys decide, wait, Maboneng is the place where you can set up your business?
Being like a emerging area, it became like financially viable and feasible for us to rent the space. And we also saw the opportunity for like, who is coming to Maboneng? It's definitely the kind of people that we want to interact with.
Yeah, and who engage in cultural things.
Yeah,
yes.
and probably thinking that it would be the right kind of opportunity for them to come to Maboneng and experience some form of entertainment other than just going for coffee or craft beer.
I don't know how long it took, because everyone took their turns. See, he didn't cut me because one of his friends kept on saying that,
we have a new show every single week. So.
What's your business model like? I'm hearing a new show every week. Just break it down for me.
For us, it was about giving a platform for emerging content, and what we realized very quickly is how much content there is. So the idea also with condensing stuff into a week's worth of work is that it means that we're not sitting with an empty theatre for popular shows.
Yeah.
Even if you see something at like Monte Casino or Market Theatre that's running for 6 weeks, first week's full, last week's full.
And also often
in the middle is empty.
The people that we're working with are also very dynamic and doing a lot of other work as well, whether it's other industries or same industry but shooting. No one really has time to dedicate like 4 or 6 weeks of their lives
on risk.
On risk to like one thing. And so for us it was about like the concept and the idea of really making it like short, sharp and like fun, and it stems through into the shows that we have here. Also like they're an hour long.
Can show more almost every 2 weeks. Hayleigh mostly. We find people with stories to tell, and then we workshop the stories, and then we perform them here. And Hayleigh is directing me in a solo show.
What type of people do you work with in terms of putting together these shows here?
The best. There's not a whole lot to see. It's a black box space.
Yeah.
The important thing is what happens on stage is what makes it space.
Magic.
So it's the performers more than the space itself.
The kind of people that you work with, people that come here and, showcase their plays here, how do you guys find them? Do they come to you? Do you guys, network and hear who's the hottest person that's coming up in town?
All of the above.
Yeah, there's a number of ways. So we allow inbound proposals. We read every single proposal that we get, which is very rare for a theatre, actually.
Yeah.
So there's an application form on our site if you'd like to do a show, and then we also go, and when we're not at the theatre, we're at the theatre. So we go and watch other shows, or we'll go to a festival and curate from a festival.
If I hadn't started working with POPArt, then I would be working at the bank, because in 2012 I came back from overseas and I had enough money to make one more theatre piece, and if it didn't work out, then I would have to quit theatre forever. And thanks to POPArt and to a large extent, the show was a great success, and I've been working in theatre ever since.
So how many people can your theatre take at packed capacity?
65, depending on the size of the stage.
Yeah.
So for a general theatre show that needs to use the stage area, it's about 65 to 75. If we're doing like a smaller show like a Mishibai with Gemma, then we can fit a little more in. And then for comedy, it's up to 100.
Okay, let me tell you my little story.
Yeah. Okay.
It's my little play I wrote the other day.
I feel like you're gonna break it down like Will Smith in Fresh Prince. No.
The wild cat sat on the mat. Meow, meow, it's sad. Where's my milk? Yeah, I didn't get that.
Brilliant, that's beautiful.
Most excellent.
Hayleigh Evans no Orly Shapiro bona-ke abantu-ke abanendumo ezulu enkulu-ke kuwona lo mkhakha lona-ke ukuba-ke osomabhizinisi kuyona le nkundla leni entertainment. Futhi-ke ukhumbula ukuthi-ke bona bobabili baphuma-ke khona-ke lapha eGoli, lapho khona-ke abantu abaningi beza khona ukuzomba igolide. Siphinde sixoxisane nabangani babo-ke futhi namanye amalungu emndeni wabo ukusitshela ukuthi laba babili bahlangana kanjani, futhi-ke yiziphi-ke izinto abathanda ukuzenza-ke ezamahlaya-ke lezi abanye abantu abangaziboni.
2010 we met, and just her personality, just how sparkling, energetic and bubbling she was at the time, that's what really attracted me to her.
Already that night he started messaging me, so I knew he was, you know, I had him. And
I'm not really too keen on getting married, and Orly is also not too keen on getting married.
maybe I wouldn't mind a nice big party, because, you know, that's a good reason to have a party. But no, we're very happy, and I think that marriage is institutionalized. I actually was born in Israel, and I am the youngest of 4 kids and the only girl. So I grew up in a family full of boys and males, and I came to South Africa when I was 5 years old. I've got the most incredible family, so my childhood was just amazing. I went to King David Victory Park my whole life. And then when I finished at King David, I went to AFTA to study film and theatre.
If you give her one quickly, please, Jay, quickly.
Oh, hey.
Woo!
She's amazing as a mother, but she's really great. She's thoughtful and caring.
Jaden has been the most fulfilling experience of my life. He's taught me more about like finding a patience and a strength within than any other venture I could possibly have gone on.
I think my childhood was pretty undramatic, in a word. Towards the end of primary school, I was bullied a bit because I was a bit of a nerd. The reason I love animals, because I grew up with animals, and my dog Toffee he's about as special as my gran. He was my first dog, and when I was being bullied in school, like I used to come home from school and like just cry. He was a spaniel, and cry into his ears and like tell him all the secrets and all the things that had happened to me.
I love this dog. I met Hayleigh when I was 18 at a res party, first to varsity. It was raining. There was like Nelly, I think, playing, and we were the only 2 fools dancing in the rain.
Cora and I do call one another our wives. but it's in the sense of sister wife.
She keeps getting messages from people about, oh, I'm so happy for you, you know, your wife is so beautiful, etc. And we laugh so much because we go, what kind of world is it that two people can literally just be best friends and, okay, so they have a dog together and they have sleepovers, but it has to be immediately assumed that it's more than that, you know. So we started a joke going, you know, oh no, I've got to get home to the wife, you know.
So Orly and I met in AFTA.
Both of us were studying acting in 2004, fresh out of school. And yeah, I can't say we were like instant friends, we were like instant buddies.
Her energy is just wonderful to be around, and I think outside of business we have incredibly good discussions on issues and topics, and I think she's just an incredibly conscious human being, and I love that.
There's too many things I admire about Hayleigh. First of all, she's one of the smartest people that I know. She is incredibly smart. Second of all, she never lets pragmatism stand in the way of a dream. And she's really dedicated to making dreams happen.
What are you able to get, like, in a month?
Less than 20,000 Rand a month.
It's not a lot of money.
No. Not a lot of money.
Since its establishment in 2011, POPArt yona ke inikeza laba abasafufusa abafuna ukungena kona lo mkhakha lona ke weze theatre ithuba lokuthi bangakhangisa ngemidlalo yabo. Uyabona ke lenkundla lena ke ecreated POPArt ilapho ke khona ke laba basafufusa bangathola indlela ukuthi bangashare ama ideas futhi ke bathole ke nendlela ukuthi bangakhula kanjani ke kuona lo mkhakha lona. Hayleigh no Orly base studio njengamanje uxoxisana no Pips ukumtshela ukuthi ke iziphi ke indlela abazibona ezingabasiza ukuthi ibhizinisi labo lindlondlobale.
We've just arrived at the Making Moves studio to do our studio interview and mentor thing.
They saw a gap in the theatre landscape and decided to take matters into their own hands. Hayleigh and Orly today own POPArt, which is a household name in the local theatre scene and is revered amongst young actors and playwrights. The owners are here to share their business experience with me, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
I like how you looked at us.
No, it was for dramatic effect.
Yeah, no, you did very well. You come to stage.
Okay?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of work in terms of people are writing plays, staging plays all the time, and you guys have created a platform where people can stage their plays and audiences can come and watch.
Correct.
Okay. How do you guys attract audiences to the space?
There's a number of different things in play. I mean, we've built quite a good reputation for a certain kind of product over the last 5 years. And that product tends to be really fresh, energizing, short-form theatre, I would say. And that keeps a younger audience engaged. And then there's a lot of word of mouth from those people who've come. And then also just general social media stuff, really cool, interesting content, and just also taking the brand outside of the space with productions that we produce gives the space another reputation that makes them want to engage more with the kind of work we're showing.
Are you guys social entrepreneurs or are you a business?
Business.
Are you a capitalist?
Yeah.
We're a business.
So you're in it, yes, for a whole host of other reasons, but you want to make money.
I think our intentions are very pure.
Yes.
And I think that we proved that in the first 3 years when we actually didn't really mind not making money and we're so passionate. And,
yeah.
But I think we both believe that the theatre industry and the performing arts industry in South Africa is never going to get anywhere if we keep thinking like social entrepreneurs and keep being passionate for the sake of it. We have to think of it like a business across all, no matter what discipline of performing arts you're involved in. If you don't treat yourself like a business, you're not going to make it.
Yeah.
And you guys are able to make a sustainable living from POPArt?
Define sustainable.
Yeah.
The business is sustainable. I mean, we don't get as much salary as we'd like. I think that's really, if we're going to focus on, if the business grows now, the first thing we're going to spend on is ourselves, and more people.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't really need anything more physically. We just need to invest in our
I think
What's human capital?
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
So that we can invest more time into the business. That
And the big ideas that we have.
Yeah. And actually growing the business
100%.
and less working kind of in the business and
100%,
scrambling.
definitely.
So what is it going to take to get there? What's the plan?
Okay.
We're employing someone the 1st of August. Which is, I think it's a step in the right direction because then my focus hopefully will shift. I need to be under a whip. But I think the first step is then to focus on taking the production products that are mobile and giving them a very structured future life.
Yeah.
And then hopefully that generates capital out, because then we've got double capital happening. You've got what's happening at the space and that almost is passive income because we're not involved in it anymore. It's just got to do its thing. And then hopefully that capital gets reinvested in more things that make more money and
I wouldn't take young theatre practitioners if I know that the play is not going to make money. Purely because I think you want to build a sustainable business. And you do too many of those small favors, it means you can't service other people for many years to come. So the idea is you want to exist for as long as possible, you want to get as big as possible in terms of serving the most number of people in the most sustainable way, and I think that means you need to be a little hard sometimes. Well, ladies, thank you very much for giving me time.
Thank you.
I'm going to send you on to the next stage in the show, where you spend time with another person, with a business coach, just a sounding board, so that, you hopefully walk away with greater insight and greater inspiration and motivation to go out there and grow your business.
Great.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Pop art is a unique business with a unique set of challenges and opportunities that Hayleigh and Orly have articulated. I'm going to send them off to a business coaching session for advice on how they can turn this unique venture into a sustainable, massive business that will still be around in 20 and 30 years' time.
So I think that went really well, actually. Pepsi was really friendly and open and interested in what we are offering, what we're about.
Nice chat.
Yeah, it was a nice chat. And I think there was some interesting perspectives that he gave that definitely Hayleigh and I can go back and revisit.
Although I'm expecting from the next session that he's going to tell our coach to give us the lashing he couldn't give us.
How do you actually make money?
There's a number of different things we do. So I think the biggest asset that the business has is the space and what we can do inside it. The main sort of public interest thing we do is the theatre. We get a share of the revenue collected at the door from ticket sales. But then within the theatre as well, we also do venue hires and corporate workshops.
Okay. And then in terms of the ticket sales, I mean, are you charging a lot of money? What are you able to get, like, in a month through those?
It varies on the different shows, so we try to make sure that we've got enough different shows that are hits and some that may not get the audiences they deserve. But we try to make sure that those are sort of correctly aligned against one another. But it's still, I think it would be an average of about less than 20,000 Rand a month.
It's not a lot of money.
No. Not a lot of money.
There are theatre people at heart, which sometimes makes it challenging in as a business. And it's not something they've studied. It's not in them.
At the moment, it's more of an offering of what we do. Just to be clear that, like, we haven't actually made it like a formal business.
But then the audience, because obviously you need the audience to come through the doors so that you're able to generate the revenue. What type of audiences are you attracting? And is it enough for you to basically grow the business? Because obviously you can't be at that level. You need to be making more money to make sure that you're sustainable.
I mean, we have a really, really good clientele and a really regular clientele of people who come and come back and bring friends. So there is a word of mouth thing that's happening. But I think what we can all agree is that it's not fast enough.
And then on average, how many feet through the door do you get a month?
On average? I'd say less than 1,000.
Yeah, less than 1,000.
On a really good month, it goes over 1,000. But I'd say in the region of about 750.
Ish. theatre doesn't have a lot of money, you know, and it's not like film. Whereas film, once you've shot something and you're able to sell it onto different mediums, whereas theatre, it's limited. Silana, the production is here, and then you have to move it to another place and move it to another place.
I think the one thing that'll escalate it is capital. So if we work on getting the capital, then we can spend money on developing audiences faster.
But then obviously you've got the space limitation. Your venue can only take up 65 people.
Correct.
At a time. So
even if we were selling out, it's still not a lot of money we'd make.
Yeah, okay. So, because obviously you need to find ways to bring in more people. I think obviously you need to get to a point where you're selling out and you're able to run more than one show per day. You know, so that you know, even if it's a 4-day run, you're running at least 2 shows. You know.
Yeah, we're paying for the space anyway.
Yes. So that you maximize the space and you maximize the productions that you have.
100%.
Because I think maybe that's where the next push needs to be you need to try to get there to fill out the venues. That's the first step. And then as the second step, once you're filling them out, going into 2 shows.
Yes.
And then maybe after that, you can start looking at possibly a bigger space because you know that you've got the clientele.
Yeah.
You've got regulars and once people know shows are sold out, there's also something, I don't know, in the human psyche that if something is really in demand.
FOMO.
Yeah, I need to be there.
Yeah, I think people need recommendations from other people. Yeah. And that's what selling out is.
Do you guys have an app? No. You don't use it. Maybe it could be some, I mean, you're using social media already. You've got Instagram, Facebook. And do you guys have your clients, or maybe, no, clients is not the right word, the attendees, maybe rate the shows so that they do on a regular...
They do that via our booking system. The guys who developed our booking system own our sister space in Cape Town, and they
can go back and rate.
Yeah, they go back and rate and comment and...
Because what would be more instant is if there's an app, maybe that's the next stage.
I like that.
So people can book the show through the app. They can interact maybe with the actors beforehand and after, and they can rate the show immediately.
Yeah.
Because while you're sitting there, you can rate the show, or even immediately afterwards. You don't have to go back to a booking system, because it's a little bit more effort, so you probably get less ratings.
Could we email you the brochure to get your input on it?
Sure. You can certainly do that.
Great.
Thanks. All right. Thank you, ladies. So I'm looking forward to getting that brochure from you, giving my insights and inputs, and see what really works and what's not working in it.
Thanks so much for your time.
Thanks.
Pleasure.
She's really lovely. She gave us some good insight. She got quite a good grasp of our business and our offerings. And I think she gave us some good direction to look at.
Yeah, for sure.